let's welcome second Negative to give us rebuttal speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, today a lot of issues have been opened up. Let's just clarify each of them. First, we clarify that both sides are actually concerned with poor students who cannot really proceed into senior high school. But on our side, on the affirmative side, they're assuming that entering into those private high schools will at least qualify them or ensure that they will have better job opportunities. But we think, ladies and gentlemen, we already proven to you, ladies and gentlemen, that the quality of education in such private high schools are not as good as they expected. Because first, peer pressure. Because in the peer, people who gathering a lot of students who do not really want to study will not really, help people to go to that. Will not really equip people with the ability that they are supposed to be equipped with. Second. We want to ask questions about whether the examinations or the entrance exam is needed. Where am I? Okay. On the one hand, as a negative side, we want to tell you first, to some extent, on the one hand, we want to tell you, to some extent, exams will still exist in some other forms. There will still be screening systems because without them, how would high schools decide which students they want to accept? Simply, their model is not feasible by saying that there will be no exams at all. On the other hand, we are very confident to tell you that even if there's no exams at all, we can tell you the negative side still makes more sense. Because first, there will be no incentive to study in junior high school levels for junior high school students, ladies and gentlemen. No exams according to the social value that promotes examination, that define people's value with their academic performance. Students will simply not study and do not listen to what their teachers are talking about. This is really detrimental. Also, without exams, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot make sure that people, once they get into senior high school, would really learn effectively from their schooling environment. First, without exams, teachers are really, really hard. It's really, really hard for teachers to teach students because they are not homogeneous. It's really, really hard for teachers to articulate or to deliver their teaching materials properly according to students' levels. Second, without examination, then you actually are forcing students to. Let's move on to the next question, which is about poor people who really want to get into senior high schools, but they cannot. First, we already told ladies and gentlemen that getting into those private high schools, because the affirmative already told us that they are really highly likely to go to those schools. Going to such private schools do not really acquire them with the thing that they really want to. Second, we, as the negative side, are not saying that we're not helping them at all, because we are subsidizing them. And if possible, we will single them out and only subsidize those people really in need. So this brings us to the next important issue, which is about the necessity of their model. First, the government said that they want to have students from poor families to continue with high school education, but we tell you we already have social welfare for those students in need, and we, if possible, want to single them out and double that subsidies. Therefore, all of their arguments will not stand. Oh, okay, thank you.
Now, let's welcome second Affirmative to give us rebuttal speech.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would also like to clear some doubts between today's debate. Well, I divide them into three. First shouldn't distribute the resources to both the rich and the poor. But we are talking about social right here. And also for the poor, we are not giving them money. We are giving them education, and education is a chance for them. So by only giving them money, giving them resources does not solve any problems. So we are giving them education, and education is the light of change. And we are not saying that, this is not a problem that by giving them money, we can solve this problem. So their argument won't stand. And also, in their rebuttal speech, they mentioned peer pressure. In our argument, we have mentioned that we put students in education that are suitable for them. For those students who are under studies, we put them to high schools, that's for academics. And for those students who are, have other interests, we put them to different high schools. So students are actually being distributed to the suitable education for them. So we don't think the pressure thing would cause such a huge problem. And also, we believe that, given them 3 years of high school education, a prolonged time for them to get entrance exams, since entrance exam pretty much determines, at least the rest of their lives for 5 years. So we prolong the time for them to get entrance exams. And the students in these 3 years, they have more time to prepare about their future, and they can think clearly what they truly want, and they can surely face the result of entrance exam of more responsibilities. And also, not only the entrance exam, we are not eliminating tests. We are not giving the students incentives to learn. We also have midterms. We also have finals. These are all incentives, but these are not important. We are here to inspire the students to learn. We do not push them by giving them lots of tests to learn. We are there to inspire them. We are giving them the capability to learn, to face the rest of their lives. So we are not pushing them to, we are not making them as one. We are respecting their individualities. So our side firmly believes that through 12-year education, we give students chances. We give them 3 years more of education. And through this time, they can think better about their future. Thank you.
Now, before we welcome the judges to give us comments, are there any questions or protests that you want to raise? Questions or protests or anything that you think that's unfair? Okay, 麻烦后面工作人员等一下就跟裁判。